Calls for a 10% chance of rain.
A Decatur institution is showing off its history and the city's in time-tested stone. Bobby Shuttleworth discovered the work of the Masons in carving and storytelling in Bobby's Bama.
You can hardly tell the history of Decatur without telling the history of the lodge.
And it's that history which local Masons are celebrating.
Over 188 years of being recognized for our contributions to the city by this memorial that we have had constructed. The sign is basically a history of the city of Decatur, its contributions to the city and the sacrifices that some of our members in our lodge have made for the city.
When it comes to this lodge, there is an undeniable tie from the founders of this lodge to the founders of the city of Decatur.
The charter of the town, of the Masonic Lodge, is a little bit older than the charter of Decatur. Now, Decatur was laid out back in 1820, but the actual charter for the town was 1827. So, and the Masonic Lodge was chartered slightly before that.
Many of the names on both charters are the same.
Originating members of this lodge, of them, Dr. Henry W. Rhodes was one, and of course he owned most of the land on the south side of the river. Isaac Lane was another one. Colonel Francis Dancy.
From the very beginning, they've been involved in, like you say, when the streets were laid out, when the streets were actually, when the concrete was poured, when a lot of the first public buildings were constructed, the old state bank, when it was constructed, the people that were the officers of that bank were Masons.
The historic marker indicates a sense of pride and history in Bobby's Bama. Bobby Shuttleworth, WAFF 48 News, Decatur.